Great.
Good morning, guys. My name is Julia, and today I'm going to be explaining a little bit about the auxiliary word would. We use the auxiliary word would to express desire or intent. It can be used in the present or in the past tense. In the present, we use the verb after would has to be in present. For example, I would read a lot in my college days. Next, another thing that we can use as in the present is would rather, and would rather we use it to express preference. For example, I would rather die of passion than of boredom. Next, in the past tense, would is the past tense of will. We use would in the past tense to talk about the past, and a hypothesis or for politeness. A hypothesis is something that we use for, like, we don't know if it's true or false, so we have to experiment and tell the difference if it's true or false. And an example of politeness, it would be, I'd like to ask you a question, or would you like some tea? I mean, it's like more polite because you can use different words or a different structure. Like, can I ask you a question? But it's like more polite if you use would. And back to will, we use will next to talk about the future and to talk about what people want to do, to make an offer or a promise. Next, an example of will is, I will take a nap before he gets here. Next, we also use would in the past tense in the conditional 2 and 3. They both talk about hypothesis, but I think in this one I'm like a little bit wrong because one is in the past and it's actually they both have to be in the past, but just one of them. But they both use would. An example of the conditional number 2 is, if I won the lottery, I would have bought you an elephant. And the next?
An elephant? All right.
The conditional number 3 is, if I had won the lottery, I would have traveled around the world. And this is the one that's in past tense. Next. In the contractions, it's really simple. You just have to add a D to the ending of each one. What is this thing called?
I?
No, this little thing.
Apostrophe?
Apostrophe. You just have to add an apostrophe and a D, and that's pretty much it. Next.
Hey, give me a second. Could you please, help us with that pronunciation? The right way to pronounce the contractions?
I would is I, you would is you, he would he, she would he, she, it would it, they would they, we would we, and you would you. Do you guys want to say it? Yeah.
You want to say it?
I, you, he, him, she, it, they, we, sounds like we, and you. Next, it's often confused with we had. For example, I'd gone out last evening. If you undo the contraction, is I had gone out last evening. But to not get confused about she had, he had, it had, you just the verb after I, the contraction has to be in present. For example, he'd like to have some water. Did you guys understand that?
Yeah.
Next.
Give me a second. Go back to the other one. You guys said that you understood that. So how would you say that in Spanish? Excuse me. A él le gustaría beber un poco de agua. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next. For the structures, the affirmative form is pronoun plus would plus simple present plus a complement and the period. An example is, I would dream a lot when I was a child. Can anybody else give me another example?
Yeah. Go.
I will stay in my house, but I have to study.
The negative form is personal pronoun plus would plus not, or you could do a hyphen plus nt plus simple present plus a complement. An example is, I would not like to see him with her. Can anybody else give me another example?
Or can I just push these guys, they have to give you something back.
I would not like to see you with them.
I love Guerrero, man. Big time.
The interrogative form is would plus personal pronoun plus simple present plus the complement plus the question mark. Can anybody else? No, hold up. The example is, would I like to see him with her? It's also, well, you can use like the negative form in the same question too. Well, I was looking at that too. It's like,
Wouldn't I
like to see him with her?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's completely correct.
Can somebody else give me another example besides Brandon?
Besides Brandon. Rita?
Could you want to dance with me tonight?
Loud, please.
Would you like? Okay. Would you like to dance with me tonight?
The possible answers is yes, I would, and no, I wouldn't.